All right, I think we're going live, everybody. All right, we're a minute or two early, so that's good, but we're going to go ahead and I'll get my screen shared. All right, let me go ahead and get my screen share. We're going to go ahead and share the screen itself. Perfect, here we go. Okay. We'll do slideshow from the beginning. Awesome. Hey, everybody. I am super excited to have you guys join me today. I know this is a topic that a lot of people are really excited about. Got a ton of comments, ton of people that were really super interested in joining us for the live today. So hopefully we'll have a lot of good people on. Go ahead and make sure that you guys drop a comment. Let me know that you guys can hear me. Also, go ahead and drop a comment and let me know if you guys are new investors, if you're experienced investors, if you guys are already doing deals. Want to make sure that I know who I'm talking to, that I can kind of cater the conversation. And look, also, guys, go ahead and get this post out there, because the more people that do that, the more people we're going to be able to reach in the group. So really cool. So today we're going to talk about how to quickly and easily identify all the cash buyers in your area. And some of the stuff we're going to cover today is we're going to talk about how to build a buyer's list in your area. Now, we're not going to cover the same topics that you've ever heard before. This likely is going to be some pretty high level, but very simple stuff, kind of next level wholesaling type stuff. So many people teach you how to waste so much time in this business. So many people are out trying to build these large buyers lists, and they're trying to do all these different sources and all these different things. It's a complete and total waste of time. Today, I'm going to cut through all the fluff and show you exactly how to find every cash buyer in your area, how to identify who the right buyers are that you want to work with, and really just simplify the whole process. So go about how to build buyers list in your area, the common misconceptions and mistakes. We'll talk about what's important when it comes to building a buyer's list and what's not important. And then I'm going to share with you some super advanced buyer stuff. Now, the concepts and the strategies are not going to be advanced, but the mindset and the thinking process of what we're going to do with buyers is going to be advanced. Again, like I said, next level stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I share with my students in my wholesaling business, and the things that I do in my own personal business as well. This is what separates kind of what we do from everybody else. Most people are going to tell you to go out to Facebook. They're going to tell you to go to your local RIA, try to get a bunch of wholesalers and just build this big list of buyers. That's a complete and total waste of time, which you're going to see today. We're going to share with you a much better strategy that's going to work a lot better for you. So let me just make sure that we're live in the group. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and jump in first and talk about what's important when it comes to building a buyer's list. So here's the thing. When it comes to buyers, we are only interested in people that are actively buying property, okay? We don't have any interest in people that are just buying a property here and buying a property there, or they bought a property a year ago or 2 years ago. We do not want to have this large list of people in the hopes that, hey, if we send this property out, we're going to be able to find a buyer. That's not what we want to do. When it comes to buyers, we want to make sure that we're dealing with just active investors that are repeat buyers, that are actually investor owners, okay? So what I mean by that is, look, the criteria is really simple. We want to make sure that we identify the buyers in our market that are buying properties within a very short time frame. So maybe people that have bought more than one property in a 3-month time frame. Those are going to be real buyers that we know are repeat buyers. If someone hasn't bought a property in 6 months or a year, the likelihood of them buying our property isn't really going to be that likely. We're going to be able to find much better buyers. And we want to make sure that we're doing investor owners. So people that are actually real investors buying properties. So corporations, that kind of stuff like that, which you'll see here in a little bit whenever I build a buyer's list. And the other thing we want to do is we want to be able to identify the buyers in our market that are buying and paying the most for properties. And the reason why that's so important is because, look, in your market, you're going to have lots of people that you could sell a potential property to. It's going to be the right fit for lots of buyers in your area if it's a good deal, okay? But what we have to kind of consider is that there's going to be a lot of buyers that maybe will pay you a smaller amount. Maybe they're looking to rehab the property. They need a bigger spread, or maybe they are just thinking in their mind, hey, I want to get a better deal. But there's a lot of buyers that you can find in your area that are willing to pay at or above retail or really close to it, as long as you're finding and identifying the right types of buyers. And that's one of the things I'm going to show you today, is not just how to build a buyer's list, but build a list of buyers that are the best buyers in your area. And that's what's going to be so much different than what most people are going to teach you. Most people are just going to waste a ton of your time showing you how to build a big list of buyers that you don't even really want. Buyers that are going to be crappy. They're going to be people that are just going to tie your properties up, waste your time. But we not only want to find buyers that are willing to buy your properties, but we want to find the buyers that are willing to pay you the most. That's going to be the difference in you making 10 or 15 grand on a deal or making 25, 35, 40, $50,000. I've got students, and even in my own personal wholesaling business, several different investors that I work with are doing $100,000+ per wholesale deal. Now, you may think that's crazy, or they have to be in some big, crazy, expensive market for that. No, it's identifying the right buyers in your market that you should be selling to. So that's why what we do is so much different, is because I'm showing you how to be a better wholesaler versus just teaching the same old crap that all these other investors are out there doing that are just wasting your time as a new investor. So let's talk about some of the common buyer misconceptions, okay? So the first thing is, you do not need a large buyer's list, okay? People are going to tell you that you need a buyer's list that's really, really big. You want to have as many buyers as possible. That's going to give you the biggest net that you can cast out there, that's going to hopefully find you a buyer. That's BS. People that tell you that do not know how to wholesale as a business, okay? There's a lot of people that are even gurus, people that are teaching this business, that are fine. They're doing deals, but they're not making the most money and really understanding the business. So if someone tells you to go out and that you need a big buyer's list and that you need to be out doing Facebook and going to RIA groups and, you know, getting all these wholesales on your list, those are people that really don't understand this business, okay? What I mean by that is you need to be a better business owner, a better wholesaler, and the way to do that is through data. And what I'm going to share with you how to do today is how to use data to identify the right buyers in your market that are willing to buy your properties and pay a premium, willing to pay the most for properties in your area. So you do not want a large buyer's list. If anybody tells you that you do, stop listening to what they're saying, because they really don't understand this business. And the reason why I say that is because if you have a big buyer's list, what's going to happen is you're going to send that email out or blast that property out there. You're going to have a ton of wholesalers on your list. You're going to have a ton of tire kickers on your list. You're going to have a lot of people that will likely show some interest. But when it comes time to actually buying that property, what if they don't close on it? What if they just tie your property up or try to daisy chain the property? What happens is that's going to make your life very difficult. We only want to work with proven buyers that are buying properties consistently, to investors that are buying multiple properties on a monthly basis, and 3, the buyers that are willing to pay the most. So if anybody tells you that you need to build a large buyers list, stop following them immediately, because that is absolutely BS. I sell to probably the same 5 to 10 people each and every time, only because those are the buyers that are going to make me the most money. There's hundreds of other investors that are willing to buy those properties in my area, but they're not willing to pay the most. Okay. The other big misconception that I see so much from people is that they tell you that you need to go out and use multiple sources to build your buyer's list. Again, these are people that are very uneducated in this business. Even, you know, people that are doing very well for themselves in this business still don't, they're not at the top of their game if they're telling you that you need to go out and find buyers on Facebook. You need to go out and do this. You need to go out and do that. Look, none of that matters. And I'll tell you why. We're going to use one source that is going to identify every single buyer in our entire area. There's no other buyers out there. If those buyers on Facebook and all that stuff, if they're out there and actually buying properties, they're going to be on the list that I'm going to show you how to build today. There's no need to try to use multiple sources, because what I share with you today, using one source, you're going to get every single buyer in your entire area. There's just no need for going to these other sources, because if they really are a real buyer, they're already going to be on this list. Okay. So there's no need to use multiple sources. You're not going to find new buyers on Facebook. You're not going to find new buyers going to your RIA, Craigslist, any of that kind of stuff like that, because every single buyer, if they're really actively buying, they're going to be on that list. So for example, like me, if I go to my local real estate investor association meeting, or if I'm going out networking and talking to someone and they say, oh, can you add me to your buyers list? I say, no. If you're a real buyer, you're already going to be on my list. Okay. My qualifications are really simple. They have to be actively buying multiple properties. Okay. If they're not buying multiple properties on a monthly basis, if they're not, paying at or above retail, they're not the types of buyers that I want to find. But if they're already out there actively doing those things, they're going to be on my list. Okay. So there's no need for multiple sources. Once I share with you today how to do it, you're going to be able to find all the buyers in one area. Okay. The next big misconception that I hear from so many people out there is that you need to reach out to your buyers and find out what their criteria is. If you go and call a buyer or ask a buyer what their criteria is, what their buying criteria is, right there, if they're a serious buyer, they're never going to talk to you again. Okay. Now I know that sounds harsh, but real buyers want you to save them time. Okay. You as a wholesaler can already identify what their criteria is based on what they've already bought. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Again, this is next level type stuff. I'm not teaching you basic buyers list stuff, because if you're doing those things, you're really going to struggle in this business. I want to show you how to find the right buyers that you want to sell to make the most amount of money, and how to find all the buyers in your area. So if you're asking buyers what their buying criteria is, if they're a real buyer, they're never going to give you the time of day. It's going to make you look like a new investor. And the reason for that is because, look, if they're buying 5, 10, 15, 20 properties a month or over the last 3 months, we can look back at what they bought and understand what their criteria is. What neighborhoods are they buying in? What zip codes are they buying in? Identifying specifically what types of properties, multifamily, single family, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. So we can build that out, their price point. All that stuff is all there. And I'm going to show you exactly how to find that and identify that today. This is all going to make you a stronger wholesaler if you understand how to use the criteria of what the buyers are actually buying out there in the area. So again, if you guys like this information, drop a comment below. Let me know, put some comments out there, some likes. That way we know that you guys are following along and that you understand that, look, there's a lot of things that people are teaching out there when it comes to buyers that is just a waste of time. And what I'm going to share with you today is going to show you how to be a stronger buyer. Be a stronger investor. So go ahead and drop that comment below. Let me know, stronger investor, if you guys are following along and know that you're going to be a better wholesaler by building your business this way. Okay. The other, this is probably, I think, the last, this is the last common misconception that I see a lot, is that a lot of people think they should blast their properties out for sale. So if you get a property under contract, first thing people want to do is they want to put together a bunch of pictures, a video. They want to put together an email and send it out to everybody on their buyers list. That's not the way that you want to treat buyers in this business. If you identify real buyers, if you identify the people that are buying properties consistently, people that are paying the most in your area, what you need to consider is that they're going to look at you as someone that they're building a relationship with. Okay, they are going to react better if you reach out to them personally, because you're already going to know if your property is a fit for your buyers based on what they've already bought. Okay, so instead of sending a property out to 5,000 investors, fingers crossed that the people that reply, it's going to be a good fit for, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to end up buying your property. But if we know that we have an investor that bought 5 properties last month, they all fit the same criteria as what your property is. If we pick up the phone and reach out to them and say, hey, Mr. Investor, I noticed that you're buying properties here in this particular zip code, and I saw you bought 5 in the last month or so. I've got a property that is actually even a better deal than some of the ones that you bought. Would you have any interest in taking a look at this property? They're going to drop everything they're doing and they're going to go out and look at that property. Once you've done this once or twice and show them that you understand what their buying criteria is and that you have real properties that's a fit for them, they're going to send you over a contract without even looking at the property. I do this every single time. My buyers trust me so much. And the reason I've been able to build that trust up is because I don't send them properties that's not a fit for what they want. Investors aren't just buying properties in the entire county. They're not just buying any property that's just kind of willy-nilly. They have a very specific criteria. So if we can send them properties that fit their criteria, they know, like, and trust us and want to work with us based on what we sent them in the past. So it's really important to make sure that you're not blasting out properties for sale, but you're actually identifying the buyers that the property is the best fit for, and then picking up the phone and reaching out to one or two of them saying, hey, look, I understand that this is what you're buying. I've got a great deal that fits that criteria. Are you interested? And if they are, there's a very good chance they're going to be willing to buy that property. So again, this is how you're going to be a better wholesaler, is by really understanding the buyers in your area. So those are a lot of misconceptions that I see a lot of people teach when it comes to buyers. But what I want to do is I'm going to show you how to find all of the buyers in your area. So that's where we're going to start at. We're going to have the big buyer pool. And then we're going to narrow that list down dramatically just to find the right buyers that you're going to want to work. So again, like I said, so many people say Facebook, Craigslist, go to your local REIA, go use all these tools to find buyers in your area. You don't need any of that. You just need one tool, and that one tool is PropStream. So drop a comment below. Let me know you guys are following along. Put in PropStream. And for those of you that don't have access to PropStream, if you go to brianhaskins.com/PropStream, you'll be able to get a free trial, and I'll send you some bonus videos, show you exactly how to use it. But PropStream is going to give us all the buyers in our entire area. There is not a single reason that you need to use any other tool when it comes to finding buyers. Okay. So that's what we're going to do now is I'm going to switch my computer screen over, and we're going to jump into PropStream, and I'm going to show you how to build a list of buyers in your area. Okay. So drop a comment below. Let me know if you guys want me to share that video with you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. Let me go ahead and pause sharing my screen. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of this. Okay. Go to PropStream. I'm going to share with you guys using PropStream how we're going to go ahead and log in real quick. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys again now. All right, let's go ahead and close that. Let me resume share. I want to make sure you guys can see my screen. There we go. Perfect. All right, so here we are inside PropStream. All right, so again, PropStream is the only tool that you need to be able to build buyers in your area. Okay. So what we want to identify, and again, for those of you guys that are following along, make sure you drop a comment below. If you need help with PropStream, you want to get access to it, you can go to brianhaskins.com/PropStream. But let's build a buyers list. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go in our area. We can do, let's just do Wake County, North Carolina. Okay. So when it comes to buyers, what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to identify just the buyers that are fit for what we want. So if you haven't used PropStream before, this is the way it works. We could put in here our area, and then we apply filters to narrow down the list of what we want. So there's 405,000 properties in this area that fit our existing parameters because we don't have any filters put in place. So first thing we want to do is we want to come over to filters, and we want to do owner occupied no. Okay. So what this does for us is this tells us these are active investors, investor owned properties only. This is not a homeowner owned property. If it was, it wouldn't be investors buying investment properties. It would be homeowners buying homeowner properties. Okay. So we can see it narrowed it down to about 125,000 properties that fit our criteria. The next thing we want to look at is property characteristics. Okay. So for this example, we're just going to stick to residential. And then I like to do single family and multifamily in my area. That narrowed it down to about 44,000 properties. Okay. So this is the start to our buyers list, 44,000 investors. I'm sorry, 44,000 investors. Next thing we want to do is MLS status. I like to put on market no. Ownership info. Okay, this is super, super important for us. So when it comes to buyers, what we can do a lot of times is we want to do owner type. Let's do corporate. So these are just corporate owned people. So that dropped it down substantially for us as well. Let's see here. The next one we want to do is, let's do ownership info. Let's do last sale date. Mortgage info. It's not letting me see everything. Whoops. My computer's cutting off for some reason. Mortgage info, valuation info. Okay. Property characteristics. It's cutting everything off for some reason. That's so weird. All right. Mortgage info, valuation. All right, well, that's fine. We can start with this. So what we can see here is we got about 16,000 properties that fit our criteria. Owner occupied, no. Residential, single family, multifamily. So we know that it's not on the market. It's owned as a corporation. And what we want to look at is last sale date. So let's go back, I don't know, just a couple of months and see what we got here. All right, perfect. So we can see basically that properties bought June until today's date, which it's September 7th. So we can see basically in those couple of months there, 517 investor bought properties. So we can see owner occupied, no. Residential, single family, multifamily. On market, no. Owner type, corporate. So what this does is these are people that own a property, they don't live in it. So it's an investor bought property. It's either a single family or multifamily type property. It's not currently for sale. So it's not a flip that they bought and then resold. Owner type, corporate, strictly just investor bought properties. And last sale date from June until now. So this gives us our active investor list. Okay. So 517 properties from the last 3 or 4 months that were bought as an investor. So we can go in here, we can highlight these now, and then we can go ahead and add them to lists. We can do, let's just do Wake County NC buyers. We'll do 6/1/22 through 9/7/22. And we can go ahead and click save. And what that does, that's going to build us a list of buyers in our area. Okay. So if we come over here now, we can see underneath my properties, scroll down a little bit, we can go Wake County buyers. Perfect. So that's our 517 active buyers in our area. Okay. So let's see here. What's the next slide? All right. So now that we've got that, that is literally all of the active buyers in your entire area. Drop a comment below. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys. That's 517 active buyers that have bought within the last couple of months. Now, one thing that you need to understand is that knowing who these buyers are is only step 1 out of 10 steps. Okay. So the next step is we need to find our duplicate buyers. Okay. So we need to identify the buyers out of those 517 that bought multiple properties. Okay. Then from there, we need to be able to identify of those buyers that are duplicate buyers, which are the buyers that actually paid the most for properties in their area. Okay. And that's all stuff that we can do right inside of PropStream as well. So let's go down here. The next steps. Okay. So this is the part where everything starts to really get fun, is because we can then look at and identify all this buyer data to make us stronger investors. We can see who the duplicate buyers are, who's paying the most, and then based on those buyers, we can take that list of 500 and probably narrow it down to about a list of 10 people. So 10 buyers that are duplicate buyers, 10 buyers that are buying multiple properties during that time frame. That's our duplicate buyers. And then people that are buying the most actually in our area. And then we can look back at what those investors bought, and we can identify what their buying criteria is. Okay. So again, that's kind of like next level stuff as far as wholesalers go, because this really helps us identify who the strong buyers are. Now, that's only the stuff that I share with my actual private coaching students, is how to take that big list and then narrow it down to find our duplicate buyers, how to find our buyers that are paying the most. I'll give you guys a little bit of insight, but for those of you guys that think it would be really powerful to know how to find your duplicate buyers, and then how to find the buyers that are paying the most, and then how to find out what properties is actually a fit for those buyers, drop a comment below, just say next level, if you think that would take your wholesaling business to the next level. So we've gone from right now in your mind thinking that you need to do all these things to build a big buyers list, to now just going to PropStream, using what I shared in this video to build a list of all the buyers in your area, and then being able to take that list, find the duplicate buyers, and then find the buyers that are paying the most, and then look back at what they bought, to now being able to identify just the top buyers in your market. So what I've shared with you so far is how to find all the buyers in your market. That's what we did right here inside of PropStream. This is 517. This is all the active cash buyers that have bought within the last 4 months in Wake County. We can do the exact same thing with any county. It's literally all it is. So now we can take this and I can export this list, and that's whenever we start to kind of manipulate the list, okay? So drop a comment below if you guys want me to take it to the next level for you guys. Drop next level below and I'll reach out to you guys and kind of talk a little bit about what it looks like and what I do with my coaching students to take it to the next level for them and help them identify the buyers. But I'll give you guys a little taste of it, okay? So drop a comment below next level and I'll start to share with you guys kind of what the next steps are when it comes to our list. So let me make sure. All right, you guys can see my screen. All right, perfect. Okay, so this is that list that we exported. So we can see here we've got 517. Scrolling down, there we go. Yep, 517 buyers, okay? So these are all of the real buyers in our area, okay? So one of the cool things we can do here is right here, we can see owner one, last name. These are all corporations. These are not mom and pop people that are just buying a property here and a property there. These are real investors, okay? So one tip, let's say you want to find and identify the duplicate buyers in the area. If you click on this, and then we come over here to, let's see here, sort and filter A to Z. What does that do for you? That automatically puts all of your duplicate investors together. Look at this. Bam, duplicate investor. Bam, duplicate investor. Hedge fund buyer. All of these duplicate investors right here, guess what, guys? These people have bought more than one property within the last 4 months. How powerful is that? All right. Drop a comment. Duplicate investors, if this makes sense to you guys. These are the people that we want to work with. Okay. So you see these right here where it says 1258 North Main Street. These are serious investors as well, because these are probably long-term investors that are naming the name of the LLC, the actual property address. So we can keep those in here. But like this person here only bought one property. This person here only bought one property. So we would go ahead and we would remove those. So we can delete those. We can see here, bam, delete this one. Delete this one. And what that does is that's going to leave us with just our duplicate buyers. If we go through here, take 5 or 10 minutes, we can eliminate anyone that's not a duplicate investor, which there's tons of them inside here, okay? These are all duplicate buyers. Once we narrow that list down, I bet out of these 500, we'll probably have 200 duplicate buyers, okay? That's awesome. That's 200 people, well, they're going to be multiple buyers. So you would just have one that we would save of this, but we would know that this is our duplicate buyer. Okay. So what we would look at then from here is that those are the active investors that we want to work with. Anybody else, we would eliminate them. Doesn't matter if they bought one property, 2 properties. We want to find just our duplicate buyers. Okay. So that's really what is key. From there, what we would want to do is we would want to be able to identify what these investors have actually paid for properties in our area. Okay, so we scroll up to the top. So how could we do that? All right, super simple. Check this out. We eliminate this. Let's see here. Let me delete those. There we go. Two things that you're going to see right here are really important. Last sale amount and estimated value. So why are these two things important? Go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know why you think last sale amount and estimated value are important. Okay. So drop a comment below. Let me know. And if this is helping you guys out, make sure you like this post. I want to try to get as many people on as possible for this live. All right. Last sale amount. Why is this important? So this tells us what they paid for the property. Estimated value tells us what the property is valued at. All right. So if we had this list narrowed down to just duplicate buyers, we could see of those buyers, which ones are paying the most. And how do we do that? We can see what they paid. So right here, this person paid $252,000 for a property that was worth $338. That's not a very strong buyer. They bought at a pretty big discount. But we can see here, this person paid $640,000 for a property that was only valued at $615,000. They paid over retail. That's the kind of buyer we want. This person here paid $69,000 for a property that was valued at $70,000. That's a buyer that we want. $500,000 for this property that was valued at $540,000. That's a buyer that we want. So we can see here and identify which buyers are paying at or above retail. Those are the buyers that we want. Now, for those of you that are watching this, that right there should have blown your mind. Now that we can see who the buyers are in our area, we can see who's buying within a very short time frame. We can see who's our duplicate buyers buying multiple properties. And now out of those buyers, which are the buyers that are actually paying the most? That right there literally should have blown your mind, because that's the kind of stuff that no one is going to teach you because they're not at this level. This is the only kind of stuff that I share with my private coaching students, people that are doing $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month. Some students are doing even more than that. And the reason why we're able to do that is because of this type of information that I share with these students, okay? This is super valuable information, guys, all right? So we've covered a lot so far, all right? We've talked about some of the common misconceptions. I showed you why the old school mindset of building a big buyers list and doing all those silly things really isn't needed, because there's no buyers out there that aren't inside of PropStream. That's going to give us every buyer in our area, because it pulled every single transaction. We narrowed that list down just to active investors. Now we've been able to narrow it down based on the buyers that we want to work with. And that's why it's so important for us as investors to understand that data is the reason why we can be successful in this business. So if you didn't have to worry about knowing if you had a buyer lined up, because we know that these investors are buying 3, 5, 10, 15 properties a month. If we have a property that's a fit for what they want, we know they're going to be willing to buy it. We don't ever have to wonder if we have a buyer again, if you structure things like this. So for those of you guys that want to find out more stuff like this and want to talk about working with me one-on-one, again, this is the only kind of stuff that I share with my personal students. But if you want more information about working with me or taking other aspects of your business to the next level, drop a comment below next level, and I'll reach out to you guys, talk about some ways that we can work together and that I can help you out. But look, this should open your eyes up to understanding that there is a better way to do this business, okay? You don't need to go out and follow the same old path that a lot of these people teach, where you need to build some buyers list of a bunch of tire kickers and wholesalers. None of that stuff is what you need to do in this business. We need to identify the buyers that are real buyers in our area, people that are buying consistently, and then from there, being able to identify the buyers that are paying the most. And we can then take these buyers, go back and look at what they've bought and see what their buying criteria is. That's going to show you what kind of properties to find in your area. That's going to laser focus in your marketing. So all this stuff all works together for you to have the data to build a much better business. And that's going to be the key. So for those of you guys that joined us live, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are dropping some comments below. If you want some more help, you want to talk about working together, drop a comment below next level, and I'll reach out to you to talk about how we can potentially work together and how I can share some more stuff like this. So look, guys, really enjoyed putting this video together for you guys. Hope you got a lot out of it. And then again, share it, drop some comments below, put some love on there, put some likes. That way I know you guys followed along, that you got a lot out of this video. All right. Thanks again, guys. Talk to you soon.